Hi, welcome to SBR Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. We are doing our daily MLB pitching preview show with Joe Duffy from OffshoreInsiders.com. Right now, we're taking a look at the card for Thursday, May 7th. Joe Duffy, thanks for being back with us.
Thank you for having me, Peter Loshak.
All right, Joe, how are you feeling about baseball this year? Going as expected, better than expected, worse than expected? How's it going at OffshoreInsiders.com?
We have the bar set pretty high. We got off to a much better than expected start. The last week has been so-so. These extra inning games continue to be my kryptonite, but again, we are ahead in the NBA playoffs, looking pretty fine, too.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what. My boy Anthony DeSclafani from Freehold, New Jersey, coming off a shaky start. You know, I bet him in the last game, and I got burned on that one. You know, now he's going at Pittsburgh, which is, you know, not the toughest assignment, not the easiest assignment either. And on the other side, A.J. Burnett, you know, I have done a complete 180 on him, and I'm definitely not looking to fade him until further notice, until he shows that he is actually fading a little bit. But, you know, DeSclafani knows how to get outs, knows how to pitch well. Do you think he bounces back here?
I've said time and time again, these pitchers with the great stuff, these young pitchers where everyone says they have such great stuff, but their performance on the field isn't necessarily as good as the scouting reports say. You know, DeSclafani, he's a guy that I like to fade. I'm not talking about whether or not it's going to be...
Hey, wait a minute. Anthony DeSclafani's performance on the field has been fucking great, okay? Yeah, he's from Freehold, New Jersey, but he's been getting it done most of his starts. His last start, yeah, he looked kind of like a jerk-off. But before that, he was getting wins and outs and strikeouts and everything, Joe.
Yeah, well, this is a situation to fade him. As I remember, 2 starts ago, he left some guys on base. And I think if you look back, I think I even warned that was not a good sign. He was stranding some runners, and that's usually a sign that things aren't going to go well. So he does have an ERA of 2.50 over his last 3 starts, a little bit higher whip. And as you said, A.J. Burnett, he's just that crafty veteran. I was touting him earlier in the year, and especially in a Pirates uniform, he continues to pitch well. So, you know, with DeSclafani, the fact that he has left some guys on base, I think this is going to be a good situation to fade him.
All right, we will see what the line is for that one. Obviously, the line will be key. And then another guy who, coming off of not such a great start, Colin McHugh, coming off a start where he gave up 4 home runs. Was that an anomaly, or is he going to start to get hit a little bit more? You know, if he does, maybe being at the Angels, you know, that ballpark can be pitcher friendly at times. Lineup not that strong. You know, does Colin McHugh bounce back or not here?
I don't know if I have a great feel for that game at this point. You're right. Anaheim's not necessarily the worst team to be facing if you're struggling, but I don't really have much of a strong opinion on that either way.
Okay, how about Chris Archer? He's off a shaky start as well. He also is going to be having a relatively easier assignment than usual here at home, which can be friendly to pitchers against Texas. Lineup that is not the greatest in baseball this year. Does Archer shake it off and come back with a strong start against Texas?
Well, Archer's one of those guys we kind of put a circle on. He looked like he was pitching very well, but then as soon as he hits that bump in the road, I generally like to fade pitchers like that when they're maybe pitching a little bit above their heads, and then all of a sudden, you know, I've called it the bubble burst theory. It applies in a bunch of different sports. So I think he's in a pretty good fade position right now. Really?
Okay, and then Nick Martinez on the other side has been pitching great for Texas. So you're a little bit down on Chris Archer then.
Well, again, it's a game-by-game thing. We're talking about short term. So at this point, I think it's a good spot to
All right, and then another guy who, coming off a bad start after pitching very well, is Jake Arrieta. Maybe in early May, maybe in like the first week of May, we look for guys who have been pitching well up till then to suddenly have a bad start. But he's going to be going at St. Louis. St. Louis, you know, decent lineup. You know, they could take care of him if he is not hitting his spots. Do you expect Arrieta to bounce back at St. Louis?
Well, Lackey's another guy that exactly what I talked about. He was able to strand 10 runners his last outing, which tells me that he didn't pitch necessarily as well as his ERA would say. So you're talking about both pitchers as of late, maybe a little bit of a downtrend. So I think if anything, we could see an over here.
An over, really? Okay, so you don't expect Arrieta then to return to his lights-out form that he has shown at times recently?
No, as I said, I think this is probably a good spot to fade him. The fact that he did have he had a nice long streak of quality starts, and that was snapped the last outing. So I think this would probably be a good time to not necessarily fade him as far as the over-under is concerned. I think both pitchers are in pretty good spots where they're going to struggle.
Okay, and then I want to ask you, Corey Kluber still not getting it done. And, now he's going to be going up on the road at Kansas City, which is not the easiest spot that you could ask for. Kansas City, of course, maybe not the most powerful lineup in the world, but they've definitely been hitting so far, and they've definitely been winning and cashing this year. If Kluber suddenly returns to his Cy Young form, then he'll be a good bet. But if he pitches the way he's pitched in his other starts this year, maybe he's a good fade again here on the road at Kansas City. What do you think?
As I've always said, I love fading guys who are coming off of career years, and obviously Corey Kluber's that, especially when he wins the Cy Young. Impossible to get value on him, and at least for now I have Edison Volquez as the opposing starter, and he has actually struggled. So, maybe an over, but I still think this is a very good spot to get very good value on fading Kluber, because people still say they realize he's a defending Cy Young, and truthfully, I've been fading him. I made big money fading him on, I guess it was Sunday, right? I believe, when he had a start and he got drilled. So things have been going pretty well fading Kluber this year.
All right, that's it for Thursday that I wanted to discuss. To sum up again, Joe Duffy thinks maybe reason to fade Kluber again, and I can't disagree with that. Question is, who's going to bounce back, DeSclafani, Archer, or McHugh? We're not exactly sure. I think that I would guess that McHugh is more likely than the other two to bounce back, and I would put Chris Archer second. I don't know. It's tough. I don't have a good read on DeSclafani at the moment. What else do you want to mention from the Thursday card, Joe?
Dan Herron for Miami. He has pitched well to the Giants, but not quite as well at AT&T Park. So I still think that the career stats are a little more important as far as overall. So it might be a good spot to go with Dan Herron. And I think we pretty much covered all my other notes for Thursday.
Okay, Joe Duffy from OffshoreInsiders.com. Thanks so much. Talk to you again very soon.